They pushed a quiet old man out of business class. No one cared, till the pilot marched out, saluted him, and said, "You saved my uncle's life." What happened next made the entire plane stand up. If this touches your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that honor real heroes. Nobody noticed the man in 4C when he boarded. He wore a faded navy blue blazer, and his silver hair was brushed back neatly. His hands, though trembling, rested calmly on his lap. He didn't make a sound, just stared ahead as the plane filled. Then it happened. A flight attendant stepped forward, eyes flat. "Sir, I'm sorry, but you'll need to move to economy. This seat has been reassigned." "Okay." The old man blinked slowly. "There must be a mistake," he said, lifting his boarding pass with a soft hand. "Someone else paid full fare," she replied. Cold, final. He unbuckled his seatbelt without argument. One businessman muttered, "Well, money talks." Another snorted. The old man heard it all. Can said nothing. He picked up his bag, scuffed, leather, clearly old. As he shuffled toward the back, a teenage boy, 3 rows down, nudged his mom. "Isn't that Mr. Harris from the Medal of Honor ceremony?" Her eyes widened. She stared at the man's back, stunned. Another passenger looked up from his tablet, expression shifting from boredom to disbelief. He recognized the name. Major Leon Harris, the pilot who had rescued trapped medics in Iraq during a sandstorm. The one who flew under radar, through enemy fire, to bring soldiers home. Now, the hero was being treated like a mistake. Passengers glanced at each other, now whispering, uneasy. But no one moved. No one spoke up. The old man, unaware that whispers were turning into questions, kept walking toward Coach. His pride, still intact. But the room was beginning to shift, because someone finally knew who he was, and that silence was cracking. The next move would change everything. Just as Major Harris reached the curtain to economy, a sharp command rang out. "Hold on." The voice sliced through the quiet like a blade. Every passenger turned. The cockpit door flew open. Out stepped the pilot, tall, composed, with a fire in his eyes. He scanned the rows like a soldier checking a battlefield. His eyes locked on Harris. Then he spoke loud and clear, so no one could pretend they didn't hear. "Is there a reason? Major Leon Harris isn't in his assigned seat." The flight attendant froze, face pale. "Captain, there was a ticketing issue. He was reassigned." "Stop," the pilot said firmly. He marched toward Harris, his boots thudding on the floor. Then he stood straight, looked the older man in the eye, and saluted. "Sir," he said, voice trembling slightly, "you saved my uncle in Mosul." He used to tell the story like it was legend. Said a pilot flew in under heavy fire, pulled 4 medics out, and disappeared before smoke cleared. Harris blinked. "Your uncle, Sergeant Raymond." "Yes, sir. I thought he didn't make it." "He did, because of you. He named his son after you." The cabin fell completely silent. The pilot turned to the attendant. "Find a man who took his seat. Move him. I'll sit on the jump seat if I have to. Major Harris sits in 4C. That's an order." No one argued. The business class passenger who'd replaced him stood up, eyes down. No protest, just guilt. And as Harris was escorted back, not by a steward, but by a pilot, who grew up hearing his name in stories every passenger knew, ... They had almost let a living legend be pushed aside. But not today, Major. Harris stood frozen for a second. The applause, rising behind him, felt surreal. He'd spent decades flying into war zones, dodging bullets, saving lives, but never imagined a moment like this. He whispered, "Captain, I'm not looking for attention." The pilot smiled, still holding the bag for him. "With respect, sir, attention found you anyway." The man who had stolen his seat. He didn't argue. He quietly stepped aside, red-faced, and didn't meet Harris's eyes. As they walked back to row 4C, passengers rose, not for stretch, not by habit. They stood in respect. Some clapped. One woman wiped her tears. A man whispered to his child, "That's a real hero." When Harris sat down, the flight attendant returned. Her tone had changed. "I'm sorry, sir. I truly didn't know." Harris gave a soft smile. "Now you do." Crossed the aisle. A boy held up his phone. He's trending. He whispered to his mom. Major Harris, real story. When the plane landed, no one stood to rush out. The aisle stayed still as the pilot announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, please allow Major Harris to disembark first." As he stepped off, passengers clapped again. A few asked for photos, not selfies, but memories. One woman said softly, "You deserve more than medals. You deserve our thanks." Harris simply nodded. "I was just doing my job." And in that quiet humility, he reminded everyone on that flight what real courage looks like. Not loud, not proud, just silent strength wrapped in service. Some heroes wear medals. Others wear silence. If this story moved you, share it and hit subscribe for more true honor moments.